Hey, what's up? Welcome back to this new video. This one is paper 3-1 of May-June 2021 for A-Level Math, paper 3. Now, with that being said, let's move on to the questions that I have for you today. Okay, so let's move on to question number 1. Here we have to solve the inequality. Now, first thing first, we realize we have modulus on both sides. We have x on both sides. We have to square both sides. So you will have 4, 3x minus 1 square less than x plus 1 square. Simplify, you will have 4 here, that should become 9x squared minus 6x plus 1 less than x squared plus 2x plus 1. Now expand, that will become 36x squared minus 24x plus 4 less than x squared plus 2x plus 1. Now send everything to one side. On this side, that should be 35 minus 24 minus 2 should be minus 26 plus 4 minus 1 should be plus 3. Now once you reach here, we have to find the critical values of your equation. So take the same equation, which is 35x squared minus 26 x plus 3, equate that to 0. Now you can solve this by using factorization, or you can use also the formula to find this answers directly. So I'll try to factorize. 35 is 7x times 5x. Now 3 is what? 3 is 3 times 1. Now to get the value of minus 26, I will try to have minus 21 and minus 5. So minus is plus, so this is a good factorization. Again, if you guys don't know how to factorize, always go back to using the formula to find the values of x in this case. X will be the value of 1 over 7. X will be the value of 3 over 5. So once you have these values, use a number line to find the set of values for x for which these are satisfied. This is the number line over here. The value, the first value should be 1 over 7, and then we have 3 over 5 on this side. Now because the coefficient of x squared is plus, it is negative, it is positive, sorry, it should be this shape, a minimum curve shape. Now we need this to be less than 0, less, which is below 0, have to be between here. Therefore you would say x is between the value of 1 over 7 and 3 over 5. And this is your answer for question number 1. Now let's move on to question number 2. So here we have to solve this equation, giving your answer to 3 decimal place, and then we have to show there's only one real root. Okay, so we have to find the value of x. So let's make our life a bit easier. For example, I can try to let this one equal to y to begin with. So you will have 2y. This should be 1 over y, because we have to know this is actually equal to 1 over exponential x, which is 1 over y. And then this will be the value. Of course, cross multiply. That will be 3 times 2 plus y. Now simplify, make them have the same base. You have the value of 2 y squared plus 1 is equal to 6 plus 3y. Now we can cross multiply and see what happens. So you will have the value of what? That will be 2 y squared plus 1 equal to 6y plus 3y squared. Now send everything to one side. You will have 3 y squared minus 2 y squared plus 6y minus 1 is 0. Rearrange or simplify, that should become y squared plus 6y minus 1 is 0. Now let's try to solve this using the formula. That should become y is equal to the value of minus b plus minus root of b squared minus 4ac. b squared minus 4ac should be what? That should be b squared 36 minus 4 times a times c. That will be 40. Divided by 2a, which is just 2. So y could be two values. The first one is minus 6 plus root of 40 divided by 2, 0.16228, or y could be the value of minus 6 minus root of 40 divided by 2, minus 6.16228. Now obviously we are not trying to find the value of y, we're trying to find the value of x, so replace everything back. So you will have y is equal to, this one is equal to 0.16228 This one is equal to minus 6.16228. Now, how would you find the value of x? We have to apply ln on both sides. So for example, if you had exponential x equal to a, to find x, it is simply equal to the value of ln of a. We should know this by now. So therefore, to find x here, that should become ln of 0.16228. That should be also ln of minus 6.16228. But this is not possible because we understand ln cannot take negative value, so this will not be valid. So finally, x can only be the value over here, which is ln of 0.16228. Minus 1.818, correct, to 3 decimal places, right? 3 decimal places as required for question number 2 for your value of x. Only one answer in the end. Now let's move on to question number 3. So here we have to show this becomes this. So again, we don't know where to start right now. We just have to trust the process and begin by changing that into x, because eventually you just have to have only x over here. So the logic will be to expand these ones as we go. This will become cos of x, cos of 30, plus sine of x and sine of 30 is 2 times, this will become what? That should become sine of x and cos of 30 plus cos of x and sine of 30. Now we should know cos of 30 is root 3 over 2 and sine of 30 is just the value of half. Now replace back in the main equation, you will have root 3 over 2 cos of x plus 1 over 2 sine of x is 2 times root 3 over 2 sine of x plus half cos of x. Now to remove these 2 below, I can just times 2 everywhere. You will just cancel out the 2 below. So you will have root 3 cos of x plus sine of x equal to 2 times this now should be 2 root 3 sine of x plus 2 cos of x, right? Now simplify, let me send everything, let me send the corresponding stuff to the right side, right? Let me send this one to here. You will have sine of x minus 2 root 3 sine of x. That should be 2 cos of x minus root 3 cos of x. Factorize, sine of x could be outside, should be 1 minus 2 root 3. Cos of x should be outside, that should become 2 minus root 3. Now, we do realize here we need the value of tan. Tan is sine over x, so sine over cos. Divide by cos everywhere. You will have the value of tan over here. And that should become 2 minus root 3. Now finally, tan of x, 2 minus root 3 over 1 minus 2 root 3. This is shown as required as in part 1. Done. Now we have to, hence, it means using part 1 to solve this equation. Now this equation is the same thing that we have over here. This became this, so solving this equation instead. So one thing I will do right away is let's find the sine of the value over here. That is what? 2 minus root 3 divided by 1 minus 2 root 3. That will become minus 0.1087. So if tan is negative, we should know it is in what quadrant? ASTC. If it is positive, it will be here and here. But if it is negative, it should be here and here. This is 180 minus alpha, for example. This is 260 minus alpha, for example. Now, whenever it's negative, we don't find the angle directly. We have to go through some other angle. Now, to find alpha is pretty simple. It is tan inverse of the positive value of this one. So have times minus 1 to become tan inverse of this value. That should become 6.2 for the value of alpha. Now finally, we don't care about alpha, we have to find x. X is equal to, according to your quadrants, 180 minus 6.2, 173.8, and also 360 minus 6.2, 353.8. And this is your answer for question number 3. Only these two values in the end for the angle that satisfy my equation. Question number 3. Now let's move on to question number 4. We have to prove the left hand side is equal to the right hand side. So the first thing we do realize here we have the angle is theta, but here we have 2 theta. So let's try to break this down. Now first thing first, we do know cos of 2 theta could be two things. It could be 1 minus 2 sine square theta, or it could be 2 cos square theta minus 1. Now since we know the value of tan is sine over cos, let me choose sine on top. That should become 1 minus this one. And let me use cos at the bottom because eventually we have to have something sine on top and cos at the bottom to get tan something. Simplify, this should become 2 sine square theta over the value of 1 minus 1 is 0, should be 2 cos square theta. This will go away. So you have sine theta over cos theta square. That will be tan square theta, shown as required for part A of your question. Now let's move on to part 2. Hence, we have to integrate this. So when you see hence, it means using part 1. So we know this thing right here became this, right? So we have to integrate this instead. That should be tan square theta. Now we know from the IDs that sine square plus cos square is a value of 1. Divide by cos square everywhere, you will have the value of what? Of tan square plus 1 is sec square. Therefore, tan square is a value of sec square minus 1. So replace, let's see what happens. This will become integration of sec square theta minus 1 d theta. Now integration of sec square is simply tan theta minus theta. Now we have to apply the limits. That should be 1 over 3 and 1 over 6 pi. Now replace tan 1 over 3 pi minus 1 over 3 pi minus tan 1 over 6 pi minus 1 over 6 pi. So what is tan of, this is the angle of 60. That is, what is that? Root 3 minus 1 over 3 pi minus, now we have tan of 30. That is what? That is 1 divided by root 2? I don't think so. So let's try. Again, I think your calculator nowadays knows the value exactly, so it should be pretty easy for you. It is 1 divided by root 3, right? Yeah, indeed. So yeah, you can see it is one of those values. Then minus 1 over 6 pi. Now simplify, in the end we just have to kind of play around with this. You will have root 3 minus 1 over root 3, then minus 1 over 3 pi plus 1 over 6 pi. So minus 1 over 3 plus 1 over 6, that should be minus 1 over 6. So this whole thing will become minus 1 over 6 pi. How about this one? Simplify, root 3 minus 1 over root 3. Now you can combine them together, make them become the same base. Should be root 3 over here. That should become 3 minus 1. That'll be 2 over root 3. Now you can simplify further if you want to. So 2 over root 3 times root 3 and root 3. That should become 2 root 3 over 3. So 2 root 3 over 3. So this is the exact value in the end. If you want to factorize, you can do that as well. It is up to you. But this should be enough. That should be 2 root 3 over 3 minus 1 over 6 pi. This is the exact value of this. I guess the main thing is to realize, well, when we have tan square, we convert to sec square theta minus 1 to use that instead to find the values of your integral. This is your question number 4. The description below and click on this link to access the Patreon page for the full video. With that being said, good luck and thank you for watching.